Have you ever noticed how aging often feels like a slow fading of sensation, not just in your body, but in your spirit? Your joints still move. Your heart still beats. But something deeper, more intimate, seems to go quiet. Hi, I'm Dr. Olivia Hart. For over 20 years, I've worked with men and women across the country, helping them rediscover energy, confidence, and connection long after they thought it was gone. And what I've seen again and again is this: aging is not the problem. Disconnection is, not just from people around you, but from your own body. From the parts of yourself that once made you feel alive, worthy, and deeply human. For too many seniors, this disconnection feels inevitable. Society whispers, that part of your life is over. Doctors rarely ask. Family doesn't know what to say. And so, in silence, millions of people quietly let go of something essential without realizing what it's costing them. But what if I told you that rediscovering physical connection, whether with a partner or simply with yourself, could improve not only your mood, but your memory, your circulation, your sleep, and even your long-term independence today? I'm going to walk you through 6 powerful truths that most people over 60 have never heard, truths that could transform your health from the inside out. And no, this isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming something that's always belonged to you, your right to feel alive. If this message resonates, I invite you to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Because your voice, your experience matters more than you know. Now let's begin. The silent switch: why physical disconnection ages you faster. It happens so gradually. Most people don't even notice it. One day, you're full of life, laughing, touching, sharing moments of intimacy that make you feel human. And then slowly, without meaning to, you begin to turn off parts of yourself. You get older. You lose a partner. Your body changes. And bit by bit, you stop reaching for connection, not just with others, but with your own physical self. This quiet turning inward, the gradual dimming of sensation, touch, and pleasure isn't just an emotional loss, it's a physiological one. You see, when physical connection fades, so does circulation. Blood no longer flows freely to the areas that need it most. Neural pathways, the highways in your brain responsible for joy, memory, and desire, begin to go unused. And eventually, they weaken. Hormones like testosterone and oxytocin drop. Sleep worsens. Mood declines. Energy slips away. Over time, the very systems that once kept you youthful and strong begin to deteriorate, not because of age alone, but because of absence. I've seen it firsthand in my patients. Men and women in their 72nd and 82nd who were once vibrant, now quiet, withdrawn, often unsure of why they feel so flat. They aren't sick, per se, but something vital is missing. Here's the truth. Your body was designed for connection, touch, sensation, even gentle forms of pleasure. These aren't luxuries. They're fuel. They send a signal to your brain: I'm alive. I matter. Keep me strong. Without that signal, the body begins to shut down slowly, quietly. But here's the good news. You can turn that signal back on. Reconnecting with your body, even in simple, safe, and private ways, can restore circulation, improve memory, and reignite your inner vitality. You don't need to become someone new. You just need to remember the parts of yourself you've quietly set aside. And trust me, they're still there. Reclaiming pleasure-wise self-affection, isn't just okay, it's essential. There's a quiet but powerful myth that so many people carry into their later years that once you hit a certain age, pleasure, especially physical, intimate pleasure, is no longer important. That myth couldn't be further from the truth. You see, your body may age, but your capacity for pleasure doesn't vanish. It changes, it softens, it requires more patience, more intention, more care, but it remains. And when you allow yourself to explore that space again, especially through gentle self-touch, you awaken something deeply healing. Biologically, self-affection does more than feel good. It activates the release of endorphins, natural chemicals that relieve pain, reduce anxiety, and elevate your mood. It promotes better sleep. It improves circulation. It supports hormonal balance in ways that protect your muscles, bones, and even your heart. Neurologically, it lights up multiple areas of the brain responsible for memory, motivation, and emotional balance. In fact, studies show that solo physical connection done regularly and mindfully helps keep the brain more youthful and resilient. But beyond the science, there's something far more personal at play. When you practice self-affection, you're sending a message to yourself: I still matter. I am still worthy of care. My body still deserves kindness. That message is powerful. It begins to undo years of shame, silence, or neglect. It reframes your body, not as something broken or aging, but as something sacred, capable, worthy. I've had patients in their 72nd tell me, with tears in their eyes, that simply giving themselves permission to reconnect with their body changed everything from their self-esteem to their energy, their mood, and even their relationships. This isn't indulgence. It's self-care at the deepest level. And the more you practice it gently, regularly, the more your body begins to respond. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Because true healing isn't just about curing illness. It's about remembering that you're still here, and you still deserve to feel alive. Rewiring the brain, the cognitive power of physical connection. We often think of brain health as something we protect with puzzles, reading, or memory games. And while those are helpful, they only scratch the surface. What many don't realize is that physical connection, especially touch, intimacy, and self-pleasure, can be just as vital for cognitive function as crossword puzzles or healthy food. Why? Because the brain isn't just a thinking machine. It's a feeling organ. And when you experience pleasure, when you connect with your body in meaningful ways, you stimulate key areas of the brain responsible for memory, focus, and emotional regulation. In fact, neuroscientific research has shown that sexual stimulation activates more than a dozen regions of the brain, lighting up pathways that support not only short-term memory, but long-term brain resilience. These include the hippocampus, the memory center, the prefrontal cortex, decision-making and attention, and the limbic system, emotional processing. What does this mean for seniors? It means that staying physically connected to your own body, or with a partner, can actually help protect you from cognitive decline. Regular physical touch has been linked to better concentration, reduced risk of dementia, and even improved verbal fluency in later life. Even more amazing, these effects are cumulative. The more you engage with your senses, the more alive your brain stays. It's like exercise for your neurons. But there's another layer: emotional safety. When you allow yourself to feel without judgment, without guilt or shame, you create an environment where the brain feels safe. And a safe brain learns better, remembers more, and processes life with greater clarity. Many of my patients have told me that after rekindling a physical connection with themselves, they began thinking more clearly. They remembered names, finished sentences, felt sharper and more present in conversations. That's not a coincidence. Your brain doesn't just need stimulation, it needs meaning. And your body, when treated with kindness and care, provides both. The restoration practice, a simple ritual for long-term vitality. So many people ask me the same question, Dr. Hart. I understand the science, but what exactly should I do? The answer is simple, not because it's easy, but because it's gentle. It's called the restoration practice. And it's something I've taught to patients for years. It's not a performance. It's not a test. It's a quiet ritual of self-connection. And it begins with permission. Give yourself the space, not just physically, but emotionally, to believe that your body is still worthy of attention. That this moment is for healing, not achieving. Here's how to begin. Step 1. Prepare the space. Choose a time when you won't be disturbed. Set the lighting soft. Let the room be warm. You might lie down or sit comfortably. Have a gentle lubricant nearby if needed. This is your space, your sanctuary. Step 2. Arrive fully. Close your eyes. Take slow, deep breaths. Let your shoulders fall. Let your jaw loosen. Feel the ground beneath you. No goal, just presence. Step 3. Awaken sensation. Gently place your hands on areas you might normally ignore: the inner thighs, your chest, your stomach. Not to arouse, but to acknowledge. Touch without pressure. Let your body guide you, not your mind. Step 4. Allow pleasure to rise naturally. If desire emerges, let it come. Don't rush. Don't force. Let your body teach you what it still remembers. Move slowly. Feel fully. You are not broken, you are rediscovering. Step 5. Integrate. When you feel complete, pause. Breathe. Place your hand on your heart. Whisper something kind. I am here. This is mine. I choose to care for myself. That's it. No expectation. No comparison. Just a moment of honoring your life through your body. And the more you repeat this practice once a week, twice a week, however you choose, the more your body begins to trust again. Circulation improves. Stress fades. Confidence grows. Because this is not about fixing something broken. It's about tending to something sacred. Common barriers: shame, pressure, and how to gently overcome them. Even when we understand the science, even when we know how healing physical connection can be, many of us still struggle to begin. Why? Because beneath the surface, there are quiet barriers that hold us back. Barriers made of memories, old beliefs, or stories we were once told. Barrier number 1: shame. For decades, many of us were taught that self-pleasure was inappropriate, embarrassing, or even sinful. These messages sink deep into the subconscious, so even now, at a time in life when healing matters, many carry silent guilt, afraid to reclaim something that's always been theirs. But here's the truth: caring for your body through gentle, private touch is not shameful. It's responsible. It's respectful. And it's a profound act of self-kindness. Let yourself unlearn what never served you. This is not about morality. It's about vitality. Barrier number 2: performance pressure. We live in a culture obsessed with results. Seniors often ask, what if I don't feel anything? What if nothing happens? But healing doesn't look like fireworks. It looks like softness. slowness, trust. Instead of chasing outcomes, shift your focus to presence. Feel your breath. Feel your hand on your skin. That is the healing. That is the result. Barrier trois inconsistancies. Just like building muscle or regaining strength, restoring your sensual connection takes regular practice. If you wait until the mood strikes, progress will be slow. But if you create a quiet rhythm, once or twice a week, your body will begin to remember, respond, open. Progress isn't measured by intensity, it's measured by return. Return to sensation. Return to presence. Return to yourself. So if you find yourself hesitating, be gentle. You are not broken. You are not behind. You're simply learning a new way to listen. And the more compassion you show yourself along the way, the deeper the healing becomes. Beyond the body, how physical connection fuels emotional resilience. It's easy to think of physical touch or pleasure as something purely bodily, something you feel with your skin, your muscles, or your nerves. But what if I told you that the deepest effects actually happen in your heart? You see, when you reconnect with your body through gentle, mindful touch, you're not just restoring circulation or brain activity. You're rebuilding trust with yourself. And that trust becomes the foundation for something even greater: emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is your ability to bounce back from pain, to move through grief, to face uncertainty without collapsing. And surprisingly, physical connection, especially when done slowly, safely, and intentionally, can help strengthen that inner core. Here's how. When you allow yourself to feel pleasure without guilt, when you stop apologizing for your needs, when you create moments that are only for you, where you don't have to perform, or please, or prove anything, you begin to feel whole again. That sense of wholeness radiates outward. You respond to challenges more calmly. You treat yourself with more grace. You become more forgiving, not only to others, but to yourself. I've had patients who were grieving the loss of a partner, battling loneliness, or recovering from major life changes, and they all told me the same thing. The moment they started reconnecting with their body, even for a few minutes a week, they felt a shift, a softening of the sadness, a quiet return of confidence, a sense that, somehow, they were no longer waiting to be loved. They were loving themselves first. That's the real gift of physical connection. Not just pleasure, not just biology, but the quiet, powerful reminder that you are still whole, still worthy, still alive. And sometimes, that's exactly what the heart has been waiting to hear. Your body, your story, and the chapter you still get to write. If there's one truth I hope you carry from this video, let it be this: your body is not finished. Your story is not over. And your right to feel pleasure, connection, and vitality has not expired, no matter how many birthdays you've had. Too often, aging is treated like a slow disappearance. You're told to expect less, want less, feel less. But I've spent over 2 decades helping people do the opposite: feel more, live more, love more deeply than they ever thought possible. After 60, t-shirt, even 80, and every time, it begins the same way, not with a pill, not with a product, but with a choice. The choice to believe you are still worthy of feeling alive. Because here's the beautiful truth: your body is not something to be ashamed of. It's a sacred home that has carried you through every season, every storm, every celebration, and it still holds the power to heal, to connect, and to bring joy back into your days. So start where you are. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to rush. You just need to begin with gentleness, with curiosity, and with care. And if you found this message meaningful, I invite you to leave a 1-inch the comments. Let me know that you're walking this journey too. Because you're not alone. And the best part, the most vibrant chapter of your life, might be the one you're about to write next.